First, I thought it was really great to honor, Western Carolina with these shirts that we wore tonight. Obviously, I have an affinity for Western Carolina and East Tennessee because I spent, probably 10 years of my life in that area. I have a lot of friends in Asheville, played the SoCon tournament there for 5 years. It's just devastating to see what happened there. My daughter lives in Johnson City. As a parent, I was really worried, but they were fine. But just south of there in Unicoi County and Irwin, it's just devastation, and obviously Asheville, and then Cullowhee. Talking to Coach Kraft, I think they were okay, but there's a lot of healing that needs to be done in that area, and so hopefully tonight, we could help that a little bit. We can't be a good defensive team or a really good defensive team unless we rebound the ball. It's demoralizing to your defense to get stops and then not get the ball. So how does that happen? Well, I think some of us, we're not checking out. I think that's part of it. I think a big part of it, too, is I think our guards don't get in there and get the loose balls or the 50-50 balls. And then, we had some funky lineups tonight, too. And they pin their ears back and go. And just having one day to prepare, it kind of showed a little bit defensively. I thought the start of the game and the end of the game, we were not very sharp. And that it's because of offensive rebounds. Now, we did turn them over 21 times. And that's a big difference. I thought we did a really good job moving the ball. We had 17 assists on 27 baskets and only 8 turnovers when we had 18 on Saturday. Can't win any game turning the ball over 18 times. It was really good to see Parker and Devin both make shots together. And I thought Churchill brought tremendous energy off the bench. Efton has had a lifetime of fighting migraines. He's been in and out of the hospital, emergency care several times since he's been here. It's just never happened on game day, And so he tried, and I could tell it was going to be tough. And then after the first 5 minutes, he just couldn't go. So he has a migraine. And Omaha had his surgery today. And so we had some funky lineups. We had Cameron and Juke playing the 4 a lot and Trey playing the 5. But that's just part of it. And I thought they did a good job adjusting. We ran a lot of stuff, and so we got several guys learning different positions. It's really hard for like a freshman like Juke to have to learn 2 or 3 positions offensively. It's hard. It's hard. Cameron's got to learn the 1, the 3, and the 4. And so credit to those guys for doing the best job on the fly as they could do on adjusting to the play calls that we ran and the stuff that we changed. Questions?
The lack of Efton gave you a reason to give Churchill extended minutes today. Yeah. We saw his hustle. We saw kind of some of the things he can bring to the court. What did you see overall from him today?
I saw less what he does in practice. He plays really hard. He's raw offensively. But, I think he's done a really admirable job of handling the ball when we put him in those positions to dribble handoff, to play follow get. He's done good. He needs to slow down a little bit with his back to the basket. He's trying to bury those guys, and he can. He's just, his timing. Had 2 block shots in 1 possession. I think one of them was a jump shot. He's a fabulous person, one of the best, and he's a hard worker, and he never once complained when he didn't play early. And I knew it was coming, because you just never know when your time's coming. But I also knew, as we climb the ladder of competition, we need him to play in there with those big guys, and he'll go get the ball. And so I was very, very happy, very pleased for him.
And you mentioned Juke as well, at times playing the 2, the 3, and the 4.
Yeah.
All that aside, Juke doesn't strike me as a freshman anymore. I mean, I'm sure you probably see it in practice, but he has a sense of confidence about him.
Well, because he's confident, and he's got great positional size, and he plays. He's got good basketball IQ. He's got still a lot to learn defensively. And I got on him pretty hard about boxing out because several of those were his. And at his size, he's got to get them, and we need him to get them, and we got to play him. And so, but he's fine, and he made shots. Again, like coming out of the timeout when Cameron kind of turned it over, that was on me. That wasn't on him. I I called something that to try to get a double gap drive for Hunt, and he just couldn't get by his guy, and it kind of hung him out to dry. And some of those sets were a little funky at times because we just had guys mixed in there at different positions. Cam's playing the 4 on offense, but guarding the 4 on defense, and Hunt's playing the 3, and Juke. It got a little funky, but I thought they handled it pretty well.
Steve, on the subject of making shots, how much of you was relieved that it finally happens and you get 12 of them and guys are making them together?
Had several guys make them, right? I think, right? A bunch of them.
Yeah, I think it was 5 guys with multiple threes.
Yeah, look, I've said it. I've seen it a lot in practice. I know it's practice, though. It's not the game. But we all know what Parker can do, and it was just him seeing the ball go in the hole, in my opinion. Because confidence is a funny thing. This is the thing with confidence. Like, I never have ever lost confidence in him, never will. No, his teammates haven't either. So he just had to get through it, And those great shooters have a very short memory, right? Like, they miss, but they could miss 10 in a row, but the great ones think the next 10 are going in. And he shoots it with such ease that you just feel that way. Now, the only thing that gets him a little bit, sometimes he gets a little off balance, gets in a hurry, gets to maybe leaning to the side a little bit. But, those great shot makers they can make them sometimes like that. They got that kind of confidence. Devin got us off to a great start from that. Hunter made a couple. Cam. I mean, it was good, and the game's a lot easier when the ball goes in the hole.
How pleased were you with the improvement on the lack of turnovers? I think you guys cut them down by 10 tonight since this weekend. So just how pleased were you on that?
Ecstatic. Yeah. I mean, is there another word for that? I don't know. What is it, an adjective, or is that what they call that, or a verb? I don't know. I'm out of school, but adjective. Thank you, Lucy. If you can think of any more, let me know. Yeah, I mean, look, don't like to go backwards, but from like the 3:42 mark of the first half against Xavier to about 14 left in the game, we stopped them 10 out of 12 times, and we're still down 10. Why? Turning it over. Can't do that. We had 18 turnovers, and I went back and counted. I think they scored on like 66% of those, and 3 of those were atomic bombs. Those are just dunks, or as you guys like to call pick six. I like to call them atomic bombs. So, yeah, I mean, granted, we played on the road. We played Xavier. Playing at home, we're playing Western Carolina, no disrespect, but you still got to take care of the ball, right? And we did tonight, and we got to continue to do that. And I think some of it is just making simpler plays. And I keep trying to convince them that. Make the easy play. Don't have to hit the home run. We ran a lot of stuff. We didn't run a lot of motion. We ran some motion tonight, a lot of sets, a lot of things. We got I counted yesterday, we had 45 or 50 sets in. It's just a matter of what works best for the guys on the court and what works best for the team we're playing. And so all those things hand in hand, I think, helped us handle the ball.
Steve, Hunter had a little bit of foul trouble early, but still had a quietish 23 and 5. What does it mean to have a guy that can just fall into the game like that?
Well, he's just a really good player, and he's got a good attitude, and he got a couple. Here's the thing with Hunt that I don't understand. He got a couple fouls, but he don't get a very good whistle. I mean, that's amazing to me. As much as he drives the ball and just gets hacked, but he just has to play through that, and so. Yeah, he was steady. I think he got a little loose off it defensively tonight a little bit for us at times. He needs to guard the ball better. He knows that. But yeah, it was good to see him play well. We shot 16 out of 19 from the free throw line. Again, we're doing better there. We have made more free throws than the other teams have attempted against us. Think about that. But I think we're like number 1 in the country of teams shooting the best against us. So teams shooting 87% against us. It's crazy. They came in tonight, they're shooting 60-some% from the free throw line. They went 10 for 11. Amazing. So, yeah, credit to him and his teammates, trying to help him find the ball.
You also brought up Churchill. What is it like having a guy that's out there giving 150, 160%, and what's the next step for him?
I think it's just refine his game, as he learns our system and how we play, and he's there defensively. First of all, he can hedge the ball now. He's hedging that ball, and he's poking at that ball, and there's going to be confrontation at the rim when he's there. We preach that, confrontation at the rim, and that doesn't mean foul. That means body on body, hands straight up in the air. You're going through my chest, and he does not back down from that. And then you saw the loose ball at half court. He about broke the scores table. I love that type of stuff, and the players like him and love him. He's good. He's going to have his moments, and so very pleased for him. Again, we'll be able to play certain ways. Like tonight, we had to play smaller, and we could put Trey at the 5. But there'll be some games we cannot play Trey at the 5, and then we have to figure out Trey. We're working on that offensively, because let's be honest. Everybody's saying, well, he returned the ball over. A lot of it is because the 4-man's standing in the lane. He made a couple big threes against Michigan, but he's got to become a better cutter in offense, and he's getting there. But there's just things you learn as you go, and you have to learn on the fly. One of the things about early, we played, 6 games? I think we've had like 7 practices. It's really crazy. We need a little practice, to go over some of these things that we need to work on.
Remind me what your goal is for kills in a game.
6, we had 10. Yeah.
So even though the defensive rebounding wasn't the greatest,
it wasn't.
Defense still took a little bit of a step.
Defense was good. But part of defense is getting the ball. But see, you also have to remember they had 21 turnovers, so that's 21 chances we didn't even get a rebound the ball. We got the ball, So it all kind of goes. I used to do that. I used to freak out a lot about that when I was in Tennessee, because we pressed a lot and we turned people over. And then I look at the shooting percentages at halftime; they'd be shooting 50%, and I'd be like, "Dang it!" And then Shea would say, Steve, they turned it over 14 times in the first half. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to look at the whole picture, But 10 kills, and again, I know where we're going, what we're headed to. I know where we want to go. We got to rebound the ball better. Period.
And without much knowledge on the migraine recovery process, is Efton okay in a couple days? Is he?
Yeah, typically. It's a day or two. Like I said, it was coming on today. I got word of it. He tried really hard, and I could tell when I was talking to the team before we came out, wasn't looking too good. He tried to go out there. We went right to him early, scored, and then it's just I don't know, guys. Thank God I've never had one, but I've seen him when he has them, and it's debilitating. And so the timing of it tonight was just for a game. Typically, it's a day or two, and he's okay. He's missed practice before because of it, but he's never had to miss a game.
The 1-3-1 zone we saw tonight. What did you like out of that defense, and what are some of the situations in which that will work well for your team this season?
Well, I thought we had a couple good possessions of it against Xavier on Saturday. We played it late. We've been working on it all year. We've kind of toyed with it a little bit as far as where we're putting certain people. We've had the 5 up in the middle. We've had the 5 in the back. We've had the 4 up top. We put the point. Just kind of depends who's on the ball. I think it's a good change-up. It's hard to score against, especially when you got some length and some quickness. It's good to use on side out of bounds when the team's trying to run a bunch of side out of bounds plays, which obviously in college basketball, the ball doesn't go out in the side as much as it does in the league. But it's a good defense on the side. I like playing it. If you play make misses, on a miss, you play man. On a make, you might play zone. But tonight on the free throw line, we were pressing more than playing the zone. But we went to it a few times. I thought it was pretty effective. I think they hit one shot maybe, where we just kind of, didn't get out there enough. But the biggest issue for me always playing the 1-3-1 has been rebounding. and you got to rebound your area, and you got to come rebound down and get it, and you kind of extend it. And so it's something you just got to continue to work on. But I've always kind of liked it. You know, having Hunt up there, having Trey, you know, you got guys up there, Trey, that are long, that can make some plays. Yeah. Thanks.